right, I'd like to start off by saying Barak Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Bracha Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is, how can Esau get back into power? And pretty much I just want to make sure that we're all set. I got that contraption hooked up, so I just want to make sure that everyone can hear me before I continue on. So if brothers can hear me, but Papa Shai, if you could just give me a shout out, let me know that you can hear, and then we can get rolling. It's clear. All right, the water, brother, the water. All right, so pretty much, this lesson is centered around, something that Elder Apostle Tahar had addressed. I say maybe about a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks, somewhere around there. And pretty much what he was saying was that, Elder Lahab had said that when you read Revelation, the 20th chapter, Esau was going to go down for a period of 1,000 years, which he did. And then, when we get back into the kingdom, he's going to come back and take us back down again. And that's total nonsense. That ain't going to happen. So the question is, how can Esau come back into power, or how can Esau get back into power once he goes down? Because the scriptures say that Esau is the end of the world. Matter of fact, let's start off with that. Second Ezra, chapter 7. Chapter 6 and verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall the end of the first, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Because anytime the prophet spoke, they saw visions, they saw horrible things that they saw. And one thing they always wanted to know is, what time is this going to take place? Because they understood about Yahushua. They understood about the sufferings of the Lord. They understood about him, having to be, having to go through his sufferings. And then after that, the kingdom would come. But see, the thing about it is they thought that once the Messiah came, that immediately after, the salvation would come. That's why when we read in the book of Acts, it said the same thing. Or actually in the book of the Gospels, where Yahushua, spoke a parable, and he said that because they thought that the kingdom of heaven should immediately appear, because the Messiah was there. All right? So one thing the prophet always did was looking for the time when the Messiah come, because they were always looking for what? For the end of this world. Because they knew that once this world ended, the kingdom of heaven would be established on the earth once again under Yahweh Bashem Yahushai in righteousness. So it goes on to say, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. And why was that? Because Esau would be on top, but eventually Jacob would pull Esau down. And Yahushua, being King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the reason why he's going to get that title is because he's going to take all of the different empires and the rulers that are ruling today down when he comes back. And all of those crowns that they wear, so to speak, are going to be attributed or given to him as credit for being the one that took them down. Just like when you have different matches, regardless of what it is, different sports matches, whatever it is, there's always a crown at the end for one to win. And the goal of a person coming up is what? To be the top, to take the person down that's at the top, so that you could be the top man. So that's what Yahushua is coming to do to all these nations. Then it goes on to say, for Esau is the end of the world. So once we see Esau in rulership, we know that it will be the end of the world. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. So during the time of the Roman Empire, when these visions and revelation were written by the Apostle John, there was a period of time where these devils were going to fall because they were going to be wounded, you know, at that particular time. And that wound lasted 1,000 years. Then, not too long after we got into the 1300s, which was about 1,000 years in the future, that's when the revival of the Roman Empire started happening through something called the Renaissance period. You know, some date it to about the 1300s, you know, or so, you know. But the heart of it was really in the 1600s, but it began around 1325, 1350, around that time frame, and then going up into the future. That's why you see a lot of so-called white people being painted, you know, all throughout Europe in the Renaissance period, or, you know, in the Vatican, you know, what's the name of that place? I forget the name of the place right now. It's escaping me. Where you have the painting of so-called God's hand touching the Sistine Chapel, you know, and all of all that art began in the 1600s, and prior to that also. But that all started through what was called the Renaissance period, and that's when Esau was released out of his prison sentence. Now we're coming to the end, because it said that he would rule for a short time. Now we're coming to the end where he's going down, because Esau is the end of the world. So once they came back into power, did what they had to do, deceived the whole world, then the end would come. And this is where we're at right now. So Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. So if Esau is the end of the world, and once he goes down, how can he get back into power? Now let's go from there. Let's go to the book of Baruch. I didn't get a chance to look up this precept, so just bear with me while I look it up. You know, just bear with me. I know it's in the book of Baruch, but I just don't know exactly where. So just give me a hot second. I know it's in the book of Baruch. Yep, 431. So let's see where we can start at. Baruch 4. Let's see exactly where we can start at. Let's see where we can start at. Baruch 4, and I'll start at 30. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Yeah, because we're at a time where we need comfort, man. We need salvation. We need mercy. To attend the mercies of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because these devils are on the loose. They're on the mother effing loose out here, doing all kind of abominable things, doing all kind of stuff that's just, I mean, it's just ripping man out the frame, you know, literally. You know, revamping, renaming everything, redoing everything the Most High said, you know, just totally, a total disregard, disrespect for the Most High's name. And that's why I said that this dragon with the 7 heads and 10 horns, it said what? They had the name of blasphemy on them, because they're trying to replace the Most High by what they're doing, you know? And I was watching part of that. I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I was watching part of it, of that, What Is a Woman, or something like that, that documentary. I mean, I was sent the trailer for it by brothers, and then I ended up seeing Elder Muwatazak's video, and I must say, man, that elder set me up, man. Hey, just whenever you watch that, please don't be driving. You know, please be somewhere where you could, you know, because you're gonna want to do things, man. You're gonna want to throw phones out of the window. You're gonna want to, you know. So, you know, just as a warning, when you watch that video, don't be driving. That's all I'm gonna say. You know, but these devils, and then when you listen to the mindset of these people, those people, if you could even call them that, they have a warped, bugged out mind. I mean, they have a warped, bugged out mind. And my man that was doing the interviews, he was hitting them with sound logic, sound questions, making solid points. And they were, I can't even explain it. It was just like like talking to the wall, pretty much. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Because eventually they're going to go down. But we need that comfort from the Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Miserable are they, this is the point, miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoice at thy fall. It says, miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. That's right. And once they go down, they're not coming back up, because you're not going to be miserable, and then jump back up, after your misery and then get back into power. No. See, this is why, like Yahushua said, he that pretty much is not attached to the vine, is broken off and severed, and pretty much withers. And that's what happens when you don't stay connected to the vine. You start to wither. Your understanding is warped. You start, pushing other doctrines, other gospels into the truth, and totally distorting it. All right? Let's see if there's any more here. It says, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin, that's right, and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. And this is dealing mainly and directly with Esau, Babylon the Great. It says, for I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride, hint, hint, pride, shall be turned into mourning. Why? Because what they're doing is off. And these things that they're doing is what brought judgment to Sodom, Gomorrah, Zeboim, Admah, and Zoar. All 5 cities got taken out. Zoar was spared for a hot minute, but then when which the Lord already knew, the angels already knew, once Lot started seeing that destruction and the way things was getting down, he said, man, the hell with that. We gonna flee to the mountains, which is what the angel told him to do in the first place. And also Zoar got hit because they were doing some foul shit too. So it says, for fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils of a great time. Yeah, because once this place goes down, it will never be, set up or established anymore. There will not be any more colonies here. There will not be any more buildings here. There will not be anything set up here, as a rulership of men ever again. The only thing that's going to be governing here are going to be desert creatures, devils, unclean beasts, unclean birds. That's what's going to be inhabiting the soils of Babylon the Great, so-called America, when that time comes. All right, so let's go from there. Let's go to the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 7. This is one of the precepts that came to mind, when I heard that. This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 7. And just bear with me 1 second, and we're going to start at verse 8. This is the Most High speaking to King David. It says, now therefore, so shalt thou say unto my servant David. I'm sorry, I believe this was the prophet during the time of King David, Nathan. I believe this was Nathan. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I took thee, from the from the sheepcote, from following the sheep, to be ruler over my people, over Israel. And if you have a spiritual eye, you can see that this is also the Apostle Peter. The same spirit that was in King David was also in the Apostle Peter. That's why Yahushua told him, or asked him, Peter, if you love me, keep my sheep, feed my sheep and feed my lambs. And I was with thee whither thou wentest, and have cut off all thine enemies out of thy sight, and have made thee a great name, like unto the name of the great men that are in the earth. Right. And this is when the kingdom of heaven is reestablished again and really fully established on the earth, because there was a pause in it, like Elder Pastor always says all the time. There was a pause during the time of the King Solomon's empire. Come on. During King Solomon's empire, there was a pause. So the Lord is about to unpause it and be and set up the kingdom of Yahushua once again on the earth. So this is the point here, the 10th verse. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and will plant them, that they may dwell in a place of their own. Yeah, because we've been pushed out to all the different captivities of the world, and we are not in our land right now. That's why the Lord is gathering the elect and about to bring the elect back once he judges America, Babylon the Great. But this is the main point here. It says, neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them anymore as before time. So who are the children of wickedness? That's talking about Esau. You can go to Malachi, the 1st chapter, and the 4th verse, or you can start at the 1st verse and read down to the 4th verse. It tells you that they are the border of wickedness, because they are the wicked. You have a such thing as the righteous, which are the Israelites. You have a such thing as the wicked, which are the Edomites. And you have a such thing as the sons of men, which are the other nations, because there's 3 classifications of men in the Bible from the beginning. That's how the Lord set it up. You know? So the children of wickedness shall not afflict them anymore as before time. So once Esau goes down, they're not coming back up. Let's go from there to Nahum. Nahum, the 1st chapter. So how can Esau get back into power once they go down? The scriptures are clear. See, when you sever yourself from the Lord, that's what happens. You know, you start coming up with madness. You start coming up with different things that are not scriptural. They're not scripturally sound. You can use the scriptures, but they're not going to be scripturally sound because you're not connected to Yahushua, the main vehicle, the main, substance of our faith. Nahum 1:9. What do ye imagine against the Lord? He will make an utter end. An utter end of what? America, Babylon the Great, which is being ruled by the Edomites today. Affliction shall not rise up a second time. That's right, the second time. So there's not going to be any more, well, we're going into captivity, and then we're going to put Esau in captivity, and then they're going to get the upper hand again, and then they're going to put us back in captivity. No, it ain't going to be an ongoing cycle like that. Because let's go real quick to the book of Daniel. Let's go to Daniel 7, and let's read 18, and we're going to jump around. Daniel chapter 7 and 18. Matter of fact, I'll start up above that. Let's start at 13. It says, Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, How long shall the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of the desolation to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot? Am I right? No, I'm sorry, that's the 8th chapter. Salaki, that was my fault. Daniel 7 and 13. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man, which is who? Yahushua, came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him, right? Because they brought him before him, because once Yahushua did what he did, the Heavenly Father gave him what? Gave him the promise that he promised him, was he would sit on his right side until he made his enemies his footstool. And that's what we're about to witness right now, when the Most High Yahweh is going to give Yahushua the ability to receive the rest of his promise, which is to put his enemies under his footstool. And there was given, because Yahushua is an Israelite, he's from the tribe of Judah. So you mean to tell me that once the kingdom is established, Esau's going to get back into power, and Yahushua is going to have to go back into captivity under Esau? Are you mad? But this is what happens when you sever yourself from the Lord, And that's all I'm going to say. It says, And there was given him dominion and glory, which is the power of the earth, the ruling of the earth. The glory is a kingdom, and a kingdom, because the glory is going to be played out where? In the kingdom. When you're on top of everything, when you have your inheritance, when you're in a royal state, you're in glory. It says that all people, Edomites included, nations and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. So how in the hell can Esau come back into power? If once Yahweh comes back and establishes the kingdom on earth, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh, there ain't going to be no more of that. Nation shall not learn war anymore. There ain't going to be no more swords. You ain't going to have, Esau's weaponry out here. There ain't going to be none of that, because there's not going to be any more war. So they're not going to, rebel from under the hand of Israel and then get the upper hand, and then all of a sudden, they're ruling again. No, man, that's the statement of an unsound mind, because it's not connected to Yahweh Shai. It's not connected to the sound doctrine of the scriptures. All right? So, as we read on, matter of fact, I think that was it. Let me see. Let me make sure. Yep, that was it. Now let's jump down to the 18th verse. It says, but the saints of the Most High, which are who? The Israelites. Because the scripture said that we what? Joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. So whatever Yahweh Shai gets, we're going to get. He said, that which you have, hold until I come. And to him that overcometh will I give to sit in my kingdom with me, as I received of my Father. That's the kingdom. And it's not going to be transferred from one people to another. It's not going to be given back to Esau. Yeah, that's right, Apostle. His mind is not right. All right, so now as we jump down to the 18th verse, it says, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. So how is it that Esau is going to come back into power after 1,000 years to take us down again? You mean to tell me Yahweh got to go back in captivity under Esau? Come on, man. Now the 27th verse, it says, and the kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Come on, man. There's no way that Esau is going to come back into power. So we're going to continue on. Now let's go from there. Let's go to the book of Lamentation, chapter 4. Lamentation, chapter 4. I had a precept. We touched that one already. Now let's go to Lamentation, chapter 4. Just bear with me 1 second. Yeah, I put the headset on because it's a little windy, slightly windy. Otherwise, I would have left these Martian sets off. This is Lamentations 4 and 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. Why? Because this is the time of the world. The scripture said that for it was a time of the world. This is the time of the world. This is the time for these devils to enjoy themselves. So instead of us getting mad, we should just let them do what they got to do, because eventually they're going to go down. So lock it for a minute. But the reason why we get mad, because the scripture said that, those that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. It says that dwelleth in the land of Uz, the cup. What cup? Slavery. When we read Jeremiah the 49th chapter, it says that, they're going to drink of that cup that we drank. It says, the cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shall make thyself naked. Meaning you're gonna be totally exposed. You're not gonna have the power and the power of deception anymore, like you've had in the past. You're gonna be totally exposed. That's why the scripture said that people are gonna be looking at you narrowly. Said, is this the man that made the world to tremble? Because everybody has you up on a pedestal. That shooting that took place in that church in Nigeria, the brothers showed, I forgot what brother it was, they showed a big ass picture of a cross with Caesar Borgia on it, an Edomite, a so-called white person on the goddamn cross, right? Then It was a Roman Catholic church, but the services that were being performed there were Jehovah's Witness. So it's a trade-off to show you this all bullshit. You know, here it is a Roman Catholic church, but I guess, I don't know if they were renting it or if they were allowed to hold their services there. You know, and it was a Jehovah's Witness, actual Jehovah's Witness service going on in a Roman Catholic church. So you go and figure. Then it goes on to say, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. What does it mean for something to be accomplished? It means that you have a mission, you have to do X, Y, and Z, or A, B, C, and then once you finish, you know, what you have to finish, then you've accomplished that particular mission. So let's look up this word accomplished in the book of Lamentation. Just bear with me 1 second. Let's go to Lamentation 4 and 22. And we get the word accomplished. The Lord said that the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished. So we look up the word accomplished. We have the word thamam, to be complete, be finished, be at an end. So once these devils go down, that's going to be the end of Esau. That's going to be the end of our punishment. You know, we're coming into the final stages of our punishment, which is what? The time of Jacob's trouble. That's going to be the last and final straw that will actually bring these devils out of their rulership once and for all. You know, because they're going to be pushing the charagma during that time. You know, and once this devil goes down, our iniquity, which was our sin on top of sin, compounded sin on top of sin on top of sin, is going to be accomplished. Our punishment is going to be accomplished. We served our punishment. And boy, did we serve our punishment. So there is no way these devils are going to get back into power after that. So let's read that again. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He, meaning Esau, will no more carry thee away into captivity. What scriptures is Elder Lahab reading? The scriptures say that Esau is no longer going to carry us into captivity anymore once our iniquity is accomplished, once our punishment is accomplished. It says, he will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. So if the Lord is doing this, how in the hell can these devils get back into power when the Most High is going to strip them of their power? That's why Yahushua is called King of Kings and Lord of Lords, because he will take down every nation that is ruling on the planet Earth today, and he's going to be the ultimate ruler under the Most High. Matter of fact, let's go to 1 Corinthians 15 on that. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, and I'll give you the verse in a minute. It's around 24. Then cometh the end, when he, Yahushua, shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High, even the Father, when he, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, shall have put down all rule and all authority and power. Come on, man. So how in the hell is Esau going to get back into power when Yahweh comes back? He's taking down all of these rulerships, all of these kingdoms, having them to be in subjection under him. He to be ruling in the kingdom with us. So if what Elder Lahab is saying is true, then that means Yahweh has to go back into captivity under Esau. That's not so, man. That's not sound doctrine. That is another gospel. And we know what the scriptures say about another gospel. Then it goes on to say, for he must reign till he hath put all enemies under his feet. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. Right. Because ultimately among the nation of Israel there will be no more death. So once these devils go down, they're not coming back up. Esau's sins are going to be discovered. He's going to be fully exposed, which he's being fully exposed now. but not everybody sees, his exposure. Now let's go from there to the book of Obadiah, right? And let's go. We're gonna start up above a little bit. Let's see, Obadiah. Spare me a second. Obadiah chapter 1. And we're gonna start at the 15th verse. It says, "For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen," meaning all nations, "as thou hast done," because we've been in captivity under every nation. Read the book of Judges. It says, "It shall be done unto thee." So every nation that had us in captivity shall go into captivity. "Thy reward shall return upon thine own head." Right. So whatever you did is going to come back to hit you on top of the head. I believe that's Psalm the 7th chapter, where it speaks about it coming down upon your own pate, which is your head. It says, "For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as you have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually." Yeah, because all nations will go into captivity. They will have to suffer for what they did to us. "Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down." And it's not going to be a thing of if they could choose it or not. They're going to drink, and they're going to swallow it down. It's going to be forced. You're going to be force-fed slavery, so you can understand. "And they shall be as though they had not been." Why? Because when you're in a position of captivity or slavery, you don't have any rights. You don't have a voice. You don't have any status. You have nothing to say. So you're nothing more than property. Just like we became property to these devils. And we're considered to be nothing or nobodies. So when we get into power, they're going to be our slaves, meaning they're not going to have anything to say. They're not going to be anybody. They're not going to have any social status. The only status they're going to have is the status of a slave, which has no rights. Even though we're going to, eventually they're going to get their land back and everything. But bottom line is they're going to be underneath us. We're going to be the talk of the town. We're going to be on top. We're going to be the ones lauded, praised underneath Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. We're going to be the ones that are going to be famous, that are going to be talked about. Just like in this society, the Edomites are the ones that are on top, and they're talked about. They're exalted to the clouds. They're looked at as the hunks of the world. They're looked at as the Savior, the Most High, God, the Israelites, all the great people of the earth. That's them. They're on a pedestal. But the Lord is coming back to knock them off of that pedestal. And you're going down in a bad way. So, when we read on, it says, "But upon Mount Zion," because the Mount Zion, which are the Israelites, are going to be the ones exempted from this judgment. "But upon Mount Zion shall be" what? "Deliverance. And there shall be holiness." Why? Because the Lord is going to change us, clean us up. "And the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions," meaning we're going to have their land, we're going to have them, we're going to have their resources, so on and so forth. Then it goes on to say, "And the house of Jacob," which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, "shall be a fire," because they're going to set it off. And this is after the captivity. We just read about the captivity, right? Well, after that captivity, when we're still in our glory, after these devils serve their punishment, it says, "And the house of Jacob, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph," which is the rest of the northern kingdom, "a flame." Because we're going to get together and grab every last one of you devils, you Edomites, up in the kingdom of heaven after you finish serving your captivity. "And the house of Esau," which are you Edomites, the house, not just Esau, the whole house, every last one of you, every Edomite, for stubble, because you're going to be the one that's going to be kindled. You're going to be the firewood in the kingdom of heaven. After you serve your captivity, you will be taken out by way of fire. And that is a fitting death to a piece of SHIT parasite virus like you. Because you've been nothing more than a parasite and a virus and a goddamn demon on the planet Earth. And you have to go down miserably. You have to be reminded daily for 1,000 years of what piece of SHIT you've been, and what parasite and virus and every other word you can use to describe you goddamn devils. It says, and they shall kindle in them. So it's going to be a bonfire. You know? There's going to be piles and piles of Edomites. Men, women, and children everywhere in the kingdom of heaven after captivity. And they're going to all be burnt up and devour them. You're not just going to get a 3rd degree burn or a 2nd degree burn or a 1st degree burn, or just your face is going to get burned, or your foot, or your leg, or your arm, or your fingers. All of you devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Shai have spoken it. So how in the hell can Esau come back into power after 1,000 years when they're going to be totally wiped out? Their seed shall never be renowned again, Isaiah 14. So how in the hell are they going to be able to get back into power to take the kingdom from us? Are you out of your mind? Are you mad? So now let's jump from there to the 9th verse. It says, and thy mighty men, O Teman, which are the so-called Germans. This is the smartest among the Edomites. And thy mighty men, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. So you're going to be, all of you are going to be taken out. So how in the hell is Esau going to come into power? Who? They're not going to have any descendants. They're not going to have anybody there, you know, to establish and to have, you know, more children. That's all going to be done away with. There ain't going to be no Edomites left. So how in the hell are they going to do it? How the hell are they going to, once they serve, you know, 8,000 years, then they're going to come back into power? How? If they're going to be all rounded up and burnt up. It's not going to be not one left. Let's go to Isaiah 14. I'm going to start at 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? This piece of shit right here? He's the one that was rocking and rolling. He was the mover and the shaker, the one that was committing all these crimes and stealing everybody's lands and resources, raping everybody's women. This is the piece of shit that everybody was afraid of. This pathetic piece of specimen, this amoeba, this tickworm. Oh man, you're gonna be looking pitiful. You're gonna go back. You're gonna go back, way back to that confused state that the Lord said you were gonna be in. You know, you're gonna go back to that caveman, you know, the caveman style. Goddamn demons. It says that made the world as a wilderness. Look at the world, man. Look at how it is. You still have certain places in the world that still have some type of beauty, but for the most part, man, there's a lot of places on the planet Earth that have just been totally annihilated, destroyed. You know, forests straight up cut down, the trees cut down. This guy, Will Hansen, Bjorn Andreas, he did I didn't see the video, but he had his head down sitting on trees that were cut down in some forest, you know, out there where he's from. You know, you could see he was like down and out because they're cutting all the trees out of the forest. That's you devils, man. That's what you do. It says, all the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. Yeah, because all nations are going to have their land back. They're going to govern among themselves. They're going to have some type of reprieve after they serve captivity, but they will still be tributary to us. And if they get out of line, they're going to get knocked in the head. All right? But they ain't going to get out of line. Because by that time, they're going to know the laws forwards and backwards after 1,000 years of getting your ass whooped. It says, but thou, you Edomites, are cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with the sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet, because there's going to be nothing left of you. You're going to be, there's going to be, the only memory that there's ever going to be of you is when you read in the scriptures about the Edom. Who the Edomite? I read here about Esau the Edomite. That's a bad man. Who was that? Oh, you know, that was a long time ago. That was this piece of shit, amoeba, parasite, you know, goddamn devil. The Edomites, you know, they had us in captivity. What? I can't believe that. You know? It says, thou shalt not be joined with them in burial. Why? Because you're going to be burnt up. Because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. You hear that? You hear that? The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. You're going down like a cheap slut on a Saturday night, like Elder Apostle Obadiah used to say all the time. Let me see if I can get that real quick. That's Isaiah 14. Salaka, it's kind of bright out here. I'm trying to see Isaiah 14. And what verse was that? That was verse... verse 20. Okay. We're looking for the word renowned. The word there is korah, which means to call. It means reading or to call. To call out, recite, read, cry out, proclaim. You're not going to be proclaimed, utter, a loud sound. You're not. There ain't nobody going to be calling out your name. You ain't gonna get no acclaim. You ain't gonna get nothing. All you're gonna get is foots and kicks to your backside, you know. And eventually, once you go through your captivity, then you will be rounded up and burnt up. There will be nothing left of you. You're never gonna get back into a position where you're at now. So how in the hell can Esau get back into power when all of these things are written about him? Then it says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. Yeah, because that's what you're being prepared for. Nobody is paid for all of the dirt and murders and all of the crimes that you've committed since you got over to this side of the land. We're not even talking about prior to the late 1400s. We're not even going that far. We're talking about in these times, from 1492 to the present, 2022, the year of the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai tuning up. You know, you haven't paid for that yet. So you got to pay. And that's why you which are here are your forefathers coming back. Because there is a such thing as reincarnation in the Bible. Whether you accept it, believe it or not. It says that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. So I don't understand what scriptures Elder Lahab is reading. Because the scriptures that we're reading is saying that they ain't never going to rise up again. Affliction shall not rise up the second time. The sons of wickedness shall not oppress you anymore. All of these Edomites, once they serve their captivity, are going to be rounded up and burnt up. There shall be none remain under the house of Esau. So what scriptures is he reading? For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua of hosts, and cut off from Babylon, you Edomites, the name and remnant. You know what a remnant is? Those that remain. There's not going to be anything left of you. And son and nephew, said the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Why? Because there will be no male left to be able to bring your demonic nation back. So how is Esau going to come back into power after 1,000 years when there's not going to be any of them left? They're going to be totally annihilated. All right? Now, let's go from there. Let's go to Ezekiel. This is the last precept I have. Ezekiel chapter 35. We're going to start at 10. You can read the whole chapter. The whole chapter is dynamite. As elder high priest Yaakov. It says, because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries are mine. I'm sorry, shall be mine. Who's that? That's the northern kingdom. I'm sorry, the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. Got to say it in the right order. And we will possess it. Whereas the Lord was there, yeah, because the Most High is with us, was with us, but He just gave us into your hands. But you boasted. When you read the next chapter over, 36th chapter, it said that you boasted against us. That we were an infamy of the people. You talked about it. I mean, you and the nations, y'all just pretty much just said, fuck us, you know? But that's all right, because it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. So live it up right now. And howl for your miseries that shall come. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, I will even do according to thine anger, right? And according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them. And I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. And that's part of vindication. That's why the unjust judge, which are the Edomites, in the parable that Yahweh spoke about, I believe that's 18th chapter, you know, it said that and listen to what the unjust judge saith. And shall not the Most High avenge his own elect that cry day and night unto him, will he bear along with them? So we're going to get vengeance on you. The Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to give us that vengeance against you, because we have not been, there has not been any justice for us. You know, going all the way back to 1492 to the present. You know, there has been nothing there to make right what you did, all the wrongs that you've done. So now, when the kingdom is established, that's when you're going to really pay. You're going to start paying once your kingdom goes down. It says, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, and that I have heard all thy blasphemy. The Lord said everything that you got them doing, you little hats and wig wearers. He's saying all of this shit that you're pushing out, all of this madness that's going on. This convoluted, if I'm using the word correctly, backwards ass spirit, this perverse spirit that is mingled with this earth, and all of this madness that you're pushing out, changing of kind, you know, turning the world upside down, and having the earth being out of course, you're going to pay for all of that. And especially this new, well, not new shit, but this shit that you're pushing on this alphabet stew that you're trying to push out there. And you're pushing that thing hard, and when you talk to them individuals like that, they are the fuck out. And you ask them sensible questions, and they are the fuck out. You know, you almost kind of sort of, you know, to a small little degree, believe that they are really reptilians, even though we know that they're not, because there's, you know, the scriptures tell us that, you know, there's different flesh of man, flesh of beast, flesh of reptiles, and all that. We know that that's not the case, but you almost kind of, you know, believe it because of how bugged out these motherfuckers are, man. And when you look at these things, they don't look right. Like they came straight out of the all of them. They all look like that. You look at them, you're like, oh shit, what the, you know? You almost want to start running. You know? And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given to us to consume. And you think that you have a right, you know, your so-called manifest destiny, and you know, your right just to constantly pummel us. You know, you tried to use the scriptures against us, you tried to justify captivity and slavery. now everybody is putting the blame to somebody else. Now all of a sudden, no, there were never no slaves in America. Jacob was never in captivity in America. There was never no slaves. Now that was the small hats. You know, they were nobody else benefited from slavery. But it's amazing. It's amazing. But you know what? The Most High knows. The Most High knows. See, He's going to be the one to make it right. Rakataya Hawashim Hamashai for that. Thus, with your mouth, you have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard the devil because you have brought yourself to possess a slavery and hold himself down. That's what the Lord said that He will not allow the wicked. Because the Most High is not going to absolve you. He's not going to give you clemency. He's not going to, acquit you. He's not going to say, okay, don't worry about it. You don't have to pay. I know what you did was foul and all that. Don't worry about it. I'm going to forgive you for this. No. You're going to pay to the very last, digit, to the very last compound. You're going to pay. It says, thus saith the Lord, when the whole earth rejoices. You notice how we keep speaking about the nations being in their glory, which we cast that as an abominable branch. You being gathered together, and the other nations have, a little piece of the sidewalk, so to speak. They have, they're going to get their land back. They're going to have some kind of reprieve. They're going to be able to continue. But that's why the Edomite scholars themselves came to the conclusion when reading the Bible that when it comes to the Edomites, there has been no promise of mercy given to them from the Most High. She was the only neighbor of the Most High of the Israelites that was not given any promise of mercy. Because they're reading this, and man, whoever this Edomite character is, these Edomites, they're up Shit's Creek without a paddle. So it says, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is saying this. It says, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate. That's where you're headed. Desolation. First step, the loss of your kingdom. Second step, going into captivity. After you finish captivity, third step, all of you rounded up, every last one of you burnt up. There will never, ever, 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 ever be a nation on the planet Earth called the Edomites ever again after you're burnt up. Now it was juicy until here, but now comes the juiciest part. La creme de la creme. The cream on top, that nice maraschino cherry on the top of that. It says, as thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, true Israelites, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee, thou shalt be desolate. You will be totally taken out. O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am the Lord. So you're going to be desolate, every last one of you, all of your tribes, every last one of you is going to be desolate. You little hats, and the rest of you, you're all going to be desolate. There ain't going to be none of you left. Every last one of you is going to be gone. Thus said the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So how in the hell can Esau get back into power if they're going to be totally annihilated? That's a better question. Because Elder Lahab said that when Esau goes down, they're going to have we're going to have them in captivity for 1,000 years, and then they're going to break away based off of scripture in Revelation chapter 20. Everything's been fulfilled except for the judgment part. The first 1,000-year period was fulfilled, and the only other part that's not fulfilled is the destruction and the kingdom. And that's when everything's going to be set back into power. And there's not going to be any Edomites left. So how in the hell are they going to come back? Anyway, with that, I pray that the brothers and you few sisters have been edified. Until the next time I say, shalom.